Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Captain's Log. I'm Scotty Roberts, your captain here on the radio. Anyway, and I want to talk about something that I think is, I've had this feeling all day while thinking about this, that this could be kind of an important Captain's Log. Important only in the sense that this is stuff that we all deal with, it's things we all think about, and it's actions we all take in one way or another. And to get back to the metaphor of the sea and the high seas, the deck feels solid beneath my boots and my feet and my leg. And I'm happy to report that the ship remains afloat, the stars are doing their jobs, and nothing important appears to be drifting off into the night without permission. And all signs point to a good hour for thinking. And so here's the log. The captain's log. It's kind of an evening watch, but at the same time, it's the idea. I struggled with the title of this one because it's the idea of believing or relieving the helm is the nautical term. When the captain takes his hand off the wheel because it doesn't need to be there for a while and he's relieving himself of the helm. And so it's kind of evening watch, if you will. And the deck feels pretty sturdy. And I've been turning over an idea today, not a heavy one, but a useful one. And every time I write these captain's logs, I want to make sure that it's not just something that I'm pulling from experience or things that I see other people experience, but things that might be useful for everyone listening. So the idea is choice, not the dramatic kind, not the kind that announces itself with some kind of drum roll and a life-alerting declaration, but the quieter kind, the kind that actually shapes where we end up. And we tend to think of choice as a moment, a decision, a firm hand on the wheel. But most of life doesn't hinge on moments, does it? It hinges on patterns. So ships don't usually lose their way at sea because of one terrible decision. They drift degree by degree through small, reasonable adjustments that felt right at the time until one day the shoreline looks unfamiliar. Now think of that in terms of our daily lives. We don't necessarily always make one decision that changes and alters the course. It's a series of decisions we make, a series of things that we do. It's degree by degree. Then one day we look up and we're in a totally different place. So that's when philosophy stops being abstract and starts being practical. The old thinkers, they talked endlessly about virtue, about alignment, about intention, not because they loved complexity, but because they understood navigation of life. A life like a voyage isn't judged by how forcefully you steer, but by whether your compass and your heading agree. Compass and heading, two different things. And that brings me to this. Tonight isn't about deciding anything. It's about noticing where your compass naturally points when you stop gripping the wheel so hard. Hey, catch that? Let me explain this. It's a bit of a paradox, but this is all about how your compass, your internal compass, naturally points to where it's supposed to point when we stop gripping the wheel so hard. Let go of the wheel. and let the compass point you in the right direction. That's the paradox. Because gripping the wheel feels like we're in control of something. I got this. I'm in control. I'm manning the wheel of the ship, you know? And I've got my grip on the wheel. I'm steering the ship. I know where I'm going. And it feels like responsibility. It feels like doing the right thing. And sometimes it is. But sometimes, especially when you're certain we know what's best, we hold so tight that the compass can't speak to us. It doesn't steer us. Not because the direction is necessarily wrong, not because the goal is bad, but because willpower has drowned out wisdom. Willpower has drowned out wisdom. The compass doesn't argue. It doesn't plead its case. It just points. And if you loosen your grip, even slightly, you might notice something very surprising. The ship was already trying to turn. Not away from something harmful, but towards something truer. The sea doesn't reward force. It rewards attentiveness. So a good captain doesn't moralize the wind, doesn't shame the tide. He checks his instruments, feels the ship beneath him, and makes small corrections again and again without drama. And here's a freedom most of us forget that we're allowed to have. You can adjust your heading without making a public announcement. Hey, everyone, I'm shifting to correct my course. You don't have to make that announcement. You don't owe the ocean a justification. You don't need approval from the gulls. You simply notice what aligns and you steer. And to hell with the gulls and the ocean and everybody else. Because I'm going to come back to this, something I said a week ago. The people who say to you, now here's what you ought to be doing. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You know why they can say that? They don't have to live in your consequences. And that's what this is. You don't owe a justification to anyone. You simply notice what aligns and you steer accordingly. So tonight, this isn't about fixing anything. It isn't about forcing clarity or solving tomorrow before it arrives. It's about easing your grip, listening closely, and asking a better question. If I keep sailing this way, calmly, steadily, where does this course naturally lead? And that question, answered honestly, will tell you far more than urgency ever could. So, once again, loosen your hand on the wheel and trust the compass, because you'll never notice your compass where it's naturally pointing until you stop gripping the wheel so hard. And now, word's been given on that. I've got some affirmations for us. I trust clarity that arrives quietly. I trust clarity that arrives quietly. It doesn't come with the fanfare of the crowd. It doesn't need the approval of dad, mom, sister, brother, cousin, uncle. The clarity arrives quietly. I allow small corrections to guide me. I gotta move this over. Oh, got a little bit more, a little bit more. And I do not confuse force with wisdom. Sometimes we push so hard to get what we think we want, and we're pushing so hard that we're eliminating wisdom. Don't confuse force with wisdom. So I do not confuse force of energy, force of will, force of fantasy, force of desire. I do not allow those forces to replace wisdom. And I sail by alignment, not by anxiety. When we grip the wheel so tight, what are we doing? We are anxious that the ship's not going exactly where I thought it was going to go. I better make a course correction and try to steer it, and we force it off the compass. So I sail by alignment, not anxiety. Now, here's a little benediction for us. May your compass remain true, even if you're in still waters, taking time, thinking, contemplating, weighing things out, reconsidering your course, considering your course, whatever it might be. May your compass remain true even in still waters. And may your hands be steady but relaxed on the wheel. And may you remember that sometimes the truest direction reveals itself only when you loosen your grip. I'm going to say that again. That is the greatest paradox of tonight. Remember that sometimes the truest direction reveals itself only when you loosen your grip. So, take that to heart tonight and stay the course. All right, we're going to go into the captain's cabin, but first we're going to say goodbye to our Instagram listeners and viewers. Thanks for being here, Instagram. I'm going to paste a link for you right now where you can come on over and you can join the live chat room that is going on over on the YouTube channel. And that's the way we have to do it because it doesn't show up in Instagram and it doesn't show up. The chat won't show up in Facebook either. So here you go. I'm going to paste it. Boom. And post. I don't have my glasses on, so I think it's hit. So there you go, folks. A couple of you over there, McCormick, Breitz, good to see you. Thanks for being in the Instagram channel. Going to say goodbye to you now. Go to that link. That's the YouTube channel, and join us in the live chat room for the after show, the Captain's Cabin. Good night, Instagram. All right. They are gone over on Instagram. And I'm coming back over here to my main window. And so now it's just us. And we're going to go ahead and kick off the captain's cabin for tonight. So let's just do this and get her rolling. I always said that intro was a little too long when I created it about 3 years ago, but I'm glad it was long tonight because I ran and got a bottle of water. My throat. I needed it when I started the log tonight, and I thought, oh, I forgot to grab it. So cheers. Vasa. All right. So as you all know, Captain's Cabin is just the casual side of the night. And I am going to take a look. Kelly Bell Moran, I see you there. Arr, she says. I say, swab me decks. And I've got glasses here somewhere. I'm going to need them. I got to cheat a little bit tonight. I feel blurry. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah, I got to be that close for my bifocals to work. And you know what? I'm just going to move the whole, got it pushed back for some reason. Going to move the whole thing a little closer. There you go. So I can read without squinting. Roger's on sparkling water. That's good. Welcome, Roger. Morgan Snow, good to see you. Barbie D, glad you're here. Rapid Dog is here from And We're Off to Nova Scotia, and however that song goes. So good to see you, Rapid. Joshua Kemp is here. And who else we got? We got Steve is here tonight. Saromantic Steve. Good to have you, brother. And welcome, Julie Lake Divine. Nice to see you. Glad you made it over tonight. Glad I couldn't. I'm sorry I couldn't say hello right away, but because I was talking. But good to see you here. And who else we got tonight? Oh, wait a minute. Steph Cuervo Queen. Yep, Steph is here. Good to see you, Steph. And let's see. How you doing, by the way? See you off and on in here. So the albatross and the whales, they are my brothers. Oh, yeah. It's time for a cool... Hey, what are you doing up here? Get off my desk. Get. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Get down. Get down before I push you down. Bye. Bye. Jump. Dumb cat. He's never come on my desk until, was it last night or the night before? Jumped up on my desk for the first time ever right during the show. I sit here all day working, and he never jumps up on my desk. But when I'm broadcasting, he does. Now he's up there again. And he's been harassing me all day for food. And he's got a mounded bowl full of food. It's the dry, crunchy stuff he's eaten for years. And I started spoiling him. I got him some wet food again, you know, the moist pate stuff in a can. And I mix it in with all his little nuggets because I don't want him ignoring the nuggets. So I mix it in and I kind of mush it in between. So it's just a nice, clear, pate-ish slab of pate and nuggets. And he eats it all then. Well, the last couple of days, I've said, look, we got 4 cans left. We're going to conserve it until I buy more. So I said, you go ahead and just eat your nuggets. All day, harasses me, under my feet, trying to trip me, trying to knock me over, crawls on my desk. It's like, get off my desk. Go eat your nuggets. So anyway, moving on. Suzanne Rose, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I'm glad you're here. And I think I said hi to Roger and Kelly Bell. Good to see you. Think Simply is here. Hey, Scotty. Says Think Simply. I'm not sure I remember who you are. Pardon me for that. I don't remember if you showed up in Intrepid Radio and the Captain's Cabin before, or if you're new here. But at either rate, thank you for coming. You may have been here once in the last couple of weeks, and I'm not sure. So I tend to forget. I'm Almost Toxic is here. Good to see you. Check your blood sugar. Are you talking because of my eyes? Yeah. You know, it was low again today. I'm getting a lot of lows lately. And so, because I'm not eating a lot and I haven't modified my insulin. And so sometimes, you know, it's like, So my eyes are a little blurry right now. And I don't know. Then again, it may be high because it was low. Here, we'll do a live experiment right on air. Let's see. We'll go here, check my glucose. Let's see what we got. I've got it on my arm here. I just put a new one on today. I gotta remember where it is. Where is it? Right there. Okay. There we are. Yeah, I'm high. 217. That's because I was at 53 and I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to augment that, to bring my blood sugar back up. Now I'm too high. Now I got to take another shot. I mean, that'll dissipate, but so slightly high right now. Oh, it's Race Hobbs. I thought that was you in the picture, Race. That's right. You probably told me that once already, and I just forgot. So, love you too, Race. Good to see you, brother. Race owned KGRA Radio back in the day when John Ward and I used to do Intrepid Radio on Race Hobbs KGRA. And Race did a lot of the producing for us and announcing. He's got one of those Darth Vader voices with a sweet edge to it. So that was back in 2013. Wow, that was 12 years ago, Race, when John and I, we did it for 3.5 years, Intrepid Radio, John and I. So, and Race even set it up so that John and I, when we were in Egypt in 2014, we were able to broadcast live episodes every day of our 14-day trip where we brought a bunch of people to come along on the Exodus reality adventure. From the Nile River, brother. That's right. And so we did an hour and a half long show. I don't remember how long it was. And you can still find those. There's still a link to find them all. I'm glad I had them all saved. It's on my website somewhere in mix, but there's no link to them, I don't think. And so if you go to scottallenroberts.com, my website, let's see if it's even on, maybe it is on the front page. I can take a look here. I had a picture that showed us. Nah, I moved it, of course. So I had the Intrepid Radio link. Oh, it might have been on Intrepid Radio. I'll find it one of these days and I'll send it over to you. Might have had it on the History Trippers channel, which is now down. And so, well, yeah, it was just a good time. And Race was the one who produced us from over there. And we had a great lot of fun with it. So, from the Nile River. And I'll find those and I'll post the link for you. So, because the link is live somewhere. I just don't know where. I don't know where I've got that. I see the picture. It was a picture of John and me and Chris Conway. And we're all kind of hunkered down looking at a black desktop at a computer screen. And we've got, scarves on our heads and stuff like that. Looking real serious. Not at the camera, but at the computer screen. And it's black in the background. And that was the actual link was in that. And behind that photo. And I couldn't tell you what happened to that now. That's gone. So one of these days, I'll find it and we'll make it work again. So, or you can look for it. And I know this isn't riveting, but while I'm looking for something, so we'll look for it. I wonder if it's up in the top. Nope. Oh, Exodus Reality Adventures. Let's see. Yes. Oh, here it is. All right, guys. I'm just going to send you this link. It was in the top menu of my website. And I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to paste it into the chat room. Now, if you go over here, paste. There it is. If you go over there to that link, we've got all the episodes from Egypt listed in there. That's the Exodus Reality page. And by the way, if anybody wants to call in tonight and just talk with me, because I don't have anything planned. This is the after show. So here you go. Race, you should call in. People to hear your voice. Are you camera ready? Do you look pretty? Call in. Hey, Hawk, how you doing tonight? Race, you'd be a good guy to talk to tonight. Come on for a few minutes. And we'll talk about the old KGRA days, and some of the things you have going on coming up. There's your link. I'll see you when you come in here, and we'll see where to go from there. So, all right. All right. Sorry. Rather urgent there. Nobody called in yet? Hey, Hawk. And I don't see anything new. So, Race, you're going to call in? Tell me yes. Tell me yes, you're going to call in. And so, sorry I didn't get back to you, says Hawk. Oh, that's all right. You know, that was our whole day. Hawk and I, we talk almost every day. And it's funny because we'll just call, we'll just hang out on the phone. You know, we're like best girlfriends, you know, talking on the phone about nothing, doing our lives and catching up on stuff, and every day, almost every day for the last 8 months, I think, something like that. And so, but today was one of those days where he called and I had to go. Then I called and he had to go. And I'll call you right back. Okay. And then he calls me and I go, hey, now it's my turn. I'll call you right back. Then he calls me back and then I go, okay, I got to go. I'll call you back. And it was one of those just back and forth ping pong all day. So, yeah, very busy day. And you're going to have to fill me in on what's going on. So, I see no one calling in. Come on, folks. Call in. All right. And if you go over to that link, by the way, over on my website for the Exodus Reality, it's the radio archives of the Exodus Reality Adventures with Scotty Roberts, John Ward, and Chris Conway. There are 11 episodes from that 14-day trip, and they're all listed in there. One of the interviews, we're interviewing Sheikh Salim Barakat. We're sitting in his 120-year-old Bedouin tent, and he's the sheikh of the whole region there where the mountain Serabet el-Khadim is. And that's the mountain that both John and I thought was very close to being what the original Mount Sinai was in the biblical terms. And so we were guests of his a couple of times. We've been there. And so we had our translator, and we interviewed him. That's a fun little interview there. And we've got all these. Here's the different places we were. Listen to this. If you go over to listen to these, we did these live from the trip. First one, we were in Cairo. Then the second one was the Giza Plateau. That's where the pyramids and the Sphinx are. The third one was an Egyptian wedding reception in Giza. I heard it beep. That's gotta be. It is Race Hobbs. I'm going to bring you on stage, Race. You ready? Boom. How you doing, brother?
I had to very hurriedly, I had to hurry up and X out of that YouTube because I was.
Oh, right.
I was actually hearing dub. It's good to see you, Scotty.
Right. Good to see you too, brother. And I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that, but I'm not sorry. Sorry, but not sorry.
No shit. No,
just glad to have you here.
Call you back like 2 weeks ago, and it's been insane because, well, unfortunately, the station that I previously owned that you had mentioned,
right,
is not doing very well.
Yeah,
and apparently they lost their last producer and a gang of shows.
Did they call you to help? Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
Now, when I ran the station for 10 years, sold it, and when I left, actually the person who did the very first show on KGRA, Margie K.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby. That was the bird.
The bird is the word.
But yeah, like I get this call from this lady that did the very first show on the network on a Friday night when we started in, I think, March the 28th in 2011, I think it was. And her name was Margie Kay, and she did a show called Unnext News. And she saw my post on Facebook, Scotty, where I had resigned. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
I had retired from KGRA. And she wanted to start her own network. And it's like the old mafia saying goes, you know what I mean? You get out and then something drags you back in. They drag you back in.
Yep.
She made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And so that was 4 years ago.
That was the X, right?
And she said, Race, just tell me what you need. I'll get it for you, buy it for you. And I want to go on the air on Halloween, which was 34 days away. She said, I want to go live on Halloween. I want that to be our birthday every year, because like October is paranormal month. You know what I mean? That's
yes.
And so I had like 33 days to put together a roster. I was able to secure 19 shows.
I remember when you were doing that.
And get them all together and get them on the air in 33 days. So I pulled it off. Since then, we've added another probably a little more than a dozen. And now in the last 3 weeks, since all of that has happened at my former home, we've added another 9 shows.
Wow.
So we're topped out. It's like
nice.
Very nicely.
Not many hours left open.
Well, we were able to hire Bill Skywatcher, who was the producer who came in my 5th year. Because you remember, I was I started out with 5 partners, and then within a year, they were all gone except for one. And that was my co-host of Eyewitness Radio, Royce Fitzgerald. He was our graphics guy. And then he stayed on for a little while longer, and then he left, and I was by myself. And, when you're producing 35 shows and you got 42 hosts and 7 days a week, this pretty little chin that I got, I acquired it right here in this room, from 10, 12, 14, 18-hour days, 7 days.
That's where you lived, was that?
Yeah.
That room right
literally, there. Robin brought me a couple of meals a day back here. The bathroom's right on the other side of this wall. I'd go out to the hallway, walk to the bathroom. When I got off work, I'd go take a shower, go pass out at 2 a.m. and get up at 6 and start all over every day. And I carried, I've seen pictures from back then, Scotty. I had black bags. I mean, I had matching Louis Vuittons.
I talked to you a few times back then.
I looked bad. I thought, go back to looking at those pictures back. I mean, I look great now, everybody.
Yeah, you are. You're just fabulous. Fabulous.
But, when we talked a couple weeks back, there's so much has happened that I didn't even know, because, when you're building these things, man, your head's down and you're just grinding, you know what I mean? And the whole world's going on around you. And when you're immersed in all of this, there's a lot of other things going on that you just don't know happening or have happened. And what an interesting, hour and a half, 2 hours we had, but you and I could talk for days.
Oh man, we could. We Race and I were talking not long ago. God, and it was just, I don't even remember when it was. It seems so very recent, but we went a couple hours, I thought, and then it was like, I got to cut this off, Race. I want to keep talking, but I got to go, and you got to go, and and we both had things to do, and
I had planned on calling you like the next morning, because you were like, man, I'm free in the mornings. I'm out here.
I don't even remember
coffee.
So
and I was going to call you, and then
that was out here on the front porch. I was on the front porch.
Yeah.
So that was in the last month.
Yeah, it was a little over 2 weeks ago.
Hey, if you say you're going to call back and you don't do it, and only a month has gone by, that's prime. Because it's usually like 3 years later. I'll call Race and I'll go, and I was saying, Let me pick up where I left off.
I got to be honest with you. But that's when it happened, when this conversion, let's say, happened, where all of a sudden I get a call, and it's my old buddy Bill, who that's what I was saying. Bill I met through our chat room over at KGRA, and he was like, Race, how are you doing this 7 days a week with no help and this thing? And I was like, well, I can't afford to hire anybody. And, one of my former partners was supposed to help produce, and he didn't work out. So we did a Skype call. He wanted to talk to me, and he told me, he said, listen, you tell me what I need, I'll get it. And if you'll train me, I'll come help you.
Nice.
And I was like, Bill, are you serious? He said, yeah, I just want to volunteer. Look, I'm in a situation where I don't need any money or this or that or the other. I'm good. And he goes, but I could either donate money to you, you know what I mean, or whatever, or I can come help you.
Yeah.
I want to help KGRA, make it. And we were on this phone call, and I'm telling him, here, this software, this software, this software, this hardware, this hardware. By the time we got off that call, he had it all ordered or had already bought it and downloaded the software. He had everything I had listed, ordered, or already
just done already. He's in. Yeah. He's in.
He was bought both in feet. Full on. And so I started training him on Sundays. And after 4 weeks, I turned him loose on his own, and he did really well. And every time some little glitch happened or whatever, the next morning he would call me and he would tell me everything. And I heard it, because I didn't walk away from, I could not walk away from the signal for probably 3 months.
I'm sure, because you got to make sure it's working right. And that's all you've been doing. Hey, tell everybody, what kind of shows do you do? What are the shows? What are some of your, not that you want to get in trouble with any of your artists over there, but what would you rank as some of your top shows? And what's the stuff that's drawing people into your network?
I'll tell you what, we do cryptids, Bigfoot, werewolves, dogmen, all of that sort of thing. We do UFOs, of course, and UAPs. Mm-hmm. We do ghosts and all that kind of stuff, ghosts and all that stuff, and conspiracies, some hidden histories and stuff like that. But one of our best shows is the Nightmare Hunters. And it's a small collection of, law enforcement guys and retired law enforcement guys that these guys are boots on the ground guys. They go out into the woods and they track animals and plaster casts and hunt this stuff, for real. Like something I would probably like to have tried when I was maybe 24, 25
sure.
years old. Sure. I mean? And these guys are like my age going out and doing it. But they do a show called Nightmare Hunters on Wednesday nights and on Saturday nights. And I just ran into D.A. Roberts probably about 3 or 4 months ago at a conference in Springfield, Missouri. And I hadn't seen him in years. He used to be a regular guest on several of the shows over on the other station. And I just happened to run into him at this conference, and he was like, are you still in radio? And I told him what we were doing, and he said, bro, I do 2 shows a week called Nightmare Hunters with these guys. He said, if you would be interested in picking them up, man, I would love it. We picked them up like 3 months ago, and they have just shot off like a rocket, like a serious, really large jump in our numbers since they came on board. They tell stories. He's a brilliant writer. He's a lot like you, Scotty. He has so many talents. And, if he ever sat down and focused on one, like our old buddy Micah, you know what I mean? Like he could do anything, but if he ever stopped and focused just on one thing, he would be super great at it.
Well, I think that's the thing that you find with a lot of creative minds out there in general is ideas, but we're all ADHD. because we're like, oh, I got to do this comic strip, but oh man, that book over there, I got the hankering to write that while I am making that clay sculpture over there. And I'm going to do a whole chess set out of those pieces. And then the UFO thing that comes with it. Oh, that's going to make a good show. I
That's
think I will do.
right.
That's what we do.
It's exactly right. I've got like 3 articles that I've started to write, and I haven't finished one of them.
Here's a prime example. I put up elderberry. Hi, Scotty. You going to finish that picture for me? Why, of course I am. I started 2 pictures for him, 2 paintings for elderberry over a year ago. It would have been October, November of 24.
Oh, shit.
And it was an ancestor of his, Forster, and it was a military painting of John Forster running down the Saracen ambush of King Richard I, the Lionheart. And so I did that painting for him. Then I had to do a second one of just showing Forster with his castle in the background, and which is a famous castle. And so, yes, what happened? This whole thing happened last year during the interim. And there were so many times I was going to try to finish that painting. I couldn't do it. And so now I'm in the clear. My head's back. My brain's back. Last couple of months. So, yes, elderberry, I'll answer your question. Absolutely, I'm going to finish that picture. So that's not too much of an ADHD thing, but since you asked here, I'll answer you here. So there we go.
It can get difficult.
It can. So
it's difficult,
but it's fun. And
yeah, but you know, I get the chance to bounce over here and catch the log every so often.
Yes.
And you know, been following along. Just want you to
I'm sure glad you do.
Well,
that means a lot to me, Race.
My heart's with you. You're in my thoughts and my prayers, and I'm always trying to send you good vibes. I love your courage. I love your you have such a monsoon of considerations that are derived solely from real life experience, and the depth of your experiences is just, it's incredible.
Well,
and
thanks, Race.
I know what it's hell already going through health issues.
You've had yours.
Oh yeah. And I knew they were coming, you know, and you lived the big life long enough. Why you can, it's going to catch up with you.
Sure.
So I'm in the war. You know, I'm in the fight. I'm in the trenches with it. And I know how lonely it can get. You know, when you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and then something hits you and knocks your goods in the dirt.
That's right.
To put it. You know, evaluation is an understatement of your conditions.
Well, yeah.
Limitations.
Limitations.
I remember when you had that heart attack, bro, when you were going up those stairs to the fridge to get from downstairs, and you were
coincidentally
breathe.
Coincidentally, that was 9 years ago in 2 days. Will be the 9th year anniversary of my heart surgery.
Oh my gosh.
So
I remember it, bro. I remember you saying, didn't you go from downstairs up those few steps to the fridge?
Well, not that time. The first time was I was sitting and Rainey was there. We're watching TV and I'm going, hey, you know, I said, I must have slept wrong on my shoulder. I said, it feels like the last couple of days.
Pain in your arm.
I said, yeah, it's my shoulder. I felt like it was my rotator cuff. And I'm going like this. And I said, this has been going on for about 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 days. Just this dull pain. And then I felt it in my armpit. And I went, now, wait a second. I said, Rainey, you were an EMT once. Tell me, is that a sign of a heart attack? And she said, she said, I've heard that said. She said, so let's call the nurse line. They called the nurse line. She called the nurse line, the hospital. They walked me through it and they said, well, you answered 5 questions out of 5 that said you're having a heart attack. She said, why don't you better get in here now. And so Rainey took me in. Of course, they hooked me all up. And sure enough, I wasn't having one at the moment, but I had several. And that's when in 2 days they had me under the knife. So,
I remember,
but
boy, I was worried.
yeah,
But you came through it.
I
With
came
with a
through.
big battle wound on your chest, and
Yeah, I got a nice big old.
you were
I got
proud
that
of
big
it.
old
Too.
scar. It goes from down here all the way up, man.
You were proud of it too, bro. That was,
Yeah, there it is.
there it is.
And by the way, there is the picture I did for Barry, the one that's finished.
Look at that. Let me
Up in the window. That's Richard the Lionheart and the red horse in the background. And Barry's ancestor, John Forster, up on the steed on the right, running over the Saracen hordes. At Acre, the Battle of Acre in the Middle East, in Israel.
One hell
What's
of
Israel today?
illustrating.
So that's why I threw that up there, because we were talking about it.
That's awesome.
Why, thank you, sir.
That's awesome. Yes, sir.
So-
Yes, sir.
What is Sarah Yusuf said? I find it hard to believe year 2000 is more than 25 years ago. Oh yeah, it's 26 years ago. I remember Y2K.
I thought I would be lucky to make it to 2000.
Yeah,
You know, the pace out in life I was living, you know, kayaking, mountain biking, extreme. Back when
Yeah.
I wish I had some pictures to throw up, show you. I used to be in real good condition. But, you know, when the health starts going, plantar fasciitis, neuropathy, all of that, man. And then I started sitting in here. I mean, to start a digital radio station 15 years ago, you know, podcasting was thin.
right.
Digital broadcasting was just starting, really.
Just starting.
I mean, like,
Because we'd all go, "What the hell is digital broadcasting?"
you know, there wasn't
So,
internet in cars or any of that back then, but we knew it was coming. You know, all of my research and the NAB show in Vegas, you know, going there every year and learning all of the new and emerging technology. You see stuff at those shows, and there's only a few of them every year around the world, that won't even be out for 4 or 5 or 6 years. Like,
yeah,
in 2018, I saw software for meteorologists, for weathermen on TV news, where they can literally present a 3D storm and walk around it or spin around. They can lift it up, show you right where the circulation is, the tornado is, everything in 3D. I watched them do it.
3D.
Yes, like no more standing, you know, at a green wall and pointing at it.
Yeah.
Literally, just they have the storm right out. They can take it off the screen and put it right out in front of you.
Yeah.
And
Hey, do you remember Blog Talk Radio? Sarah Yusuf asks.
Yes. I do.
Blog Talk Radio. I remember it. I did Blog Talk Radio. And
That was before me doing what I was doing, and we derived a lot of shows from there. A lot of people came from Blog Talk to come because, you know, our platform, we didn't have video back then, so video streaming was not like click and go like it is today. It was very rare, if at all. But you could literally, you know, walk through the door in your bathrobe and slippers and your coffee and your content, and you could sit down at your microphone and be anywhere in the world, and I could put you on the radio with studio quality sound. And you know, that service that I could provide for people was awesome for a while. But I spent so much time in that I didn't really put my forward thinking glasses on and see the emerging video streaming that was coming. You know, before Google acquired YouTube,
right.
You could actually make some decent money on YouTube without all these crazy restrictions with, you know, with headhunting algorithms constantly looking for someone else's content.
Right.
You know, you get caught. I have royalty free shit, you know, out the wazoo, and I still get struck for it.
Same here. I've got licenses that I pay for every month.
Yeah, and then I have to go prove it. I have to go jump through all
Yep.
these hoops and prove it. And then
It's like, you guys, I did get a hold of somebody there once because I complained. Oh, by the way, hi, Dallas Michael Reese. And I complained, and they wrote back, and I said, do you guys keep records of anything? I said, because you keep hitting me for the same piece of music in my intro for 500 shows I've done, and you still hit me up for a copyright on that when I've proven it how many times? And then they go through their phases too, where you see somebody's hit you for something. Oh, there's a copyright, and it's from a show I did 3.5 years ago. And I go, uh-oh, here it comes. I'm going to get one every day now. And they're going back 3.5 years, and they're going to do a whole string of shows. And then they finally get over it, and they stop. Then they do something else again. Yeah. So
it's always something, though, and
it's always something, and it's always about money and stuff, and it's like you can use all that stuff as long as you're not monetizing your channel. If you don't monetize your show, you can use that stuff copyright free. But if you're monetizing, we got to give all your money to them. It's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So,
Google is just like Bill Gates. Anything they put their hands on, they screw it up.
Right.
You remember how beautiful of a office program Skype was? You could
do.
transfer any size file you wanted. You just drag and drop it, boom, call 3, 4, 5 people. It was great. And then when they realized we were using that platform for radio, then they tried to screw us out of that and create Skype TX, where radio people had to subscribe to a different kind of Skype, and we had to buy their hardware from them to use it.
Right.
And that was after Gates bought it, after Microsoft bought it. But
Race, do you have any terrestrial stations? Or are you all internet?
No, I'm fully digital.
Fully digital.
Yeah, we've had digital stations inquire about streaming us in the overnight, but I don't want their restrictions. I don't like their restrictions. And having to be a slave to their commercial breaks. I don't.
Right.
We, at the Unexplained Network, we work real hard to keep our advertisements to a very small amount, because these topics require, because we're pushing 55-minute shows mostly. Some of them are 2 still. But for the sake of people that have super busy days and, they just only have an allotted amount of time to sit down with us. And by the way, it's good to see Dallas again. Dallas.
Yeah, I haven't seen Dallas for a long time.
We go way back. But to be able to get into a topic and start to, to deep dive into some of this stuff and then bullet point the rest. 55 minutes comes and goes quick.
Yeah.
We don't take calls, the phone systems, there's all kinds of phone systems you can use. And I'm sure there's digital phone systems now that are much more applicable. But the ones that I've always used are 20 grand, 25 grand
right.
At the lower end. And these are ones where we can screen the calls,
mm-hmm.
and I can tell you, Scotty, we've got Mike in Buffalo on line 1.
Right.
We've got Anita on line 2 from Dallas, and you can say, all right, we've got Mike in Buffalo, Mike, how's it going? And I can bring Mike on right then.
Didn't you have a setup like that when John and I were doing Intrepid Radio? Because you go, boys, and you'd cut in. Sometimes I got a caller for you. I got Dallas on, line 1 and but Sarah on line 2. And
it took an act of Congress for me to be able to get that. I mean, I started that station out of my pocket. I never had corporate investors or other investors. No one was able to come in and tell me how the hell I was supposed to do my job. I just wasn't it's one of those things where when you have an idea, you have a dream, you have something that you've created in your mind that you want to manifest.
Yes.
You have to do it yourself. You can rely on other people, which Bill, after 4 or 5 years, when Bill came on board, he saved me because I was ready to
Mhm.
bail. I was getting to the point. I've gained all this weight, and yeah, Field, that's true. It's all teams now, and I can't stand teams either. But just he comes in, man, and and then before you know it, he's doing Saturdays, and then he's like, I want to do Fridays too, and that way you and Robin can go have a weekend, And so he came in and did weekends for me. And eventually I was able to walk away and trust him and know that he's going to hold this station up and it's going to be ran exactly the way I would do it. So
that's good.
That he saved me, and we were able to run for another 5 years strong. And then when I left, he took over the programming position for the new owner, and he's ran it for 5 years himself, but he couldn't get any support from upstairs.
Sure.
And eventually it dried up. And so I'm lucky that I have a boss that is a present boss. She's present. When you call her, she answers the phone. If she can't, she calls you right back or texts you right away.
That's cool.
You have a problem. We need a piece of equipment broke down, this, that, the other. It's on the way.
Yep.
I didn't
remember when I was working with y'all on some other things that weren't radio related. They were behind the scenes stuff, art and stuff like that. And she called me right away when I had questions. So man, if you weren't there, she was there. So
you created when Royce left, that's when I came to you and you created the Planet logo for me. Because we were
the Planet.
KGRA Planet, remember? And
I remember
the most vivid image of Earth with the planet letters across it, and you had the Intrepid rocket going around it. Got it. I remember when you sent it, dude. I just jumped through the ceiling.
There were only a couple of things I had to tweak on it, which was, let's see, I think I even have it here. Here it is.
Show it, bro.
This was the logo.
Look at that.
The Planet.
Branded
KGRA
logo.
Digital Broadcasting Station.
God, I love that image. I love that. That is exactly what I didn't describe to you, but what I envisioned. See, people like Scotty, I want to tell all of your viewers, people like Scotty have such an artistic eye. The third eye, they know how to work.
Third eye.
He can listen to you and he can hear you convey them. And then do you have the one for my news station that I work at?
I think I do. X. Let's see if it's in here.
That UFO was perfect.
I gotta put on my glasses. Good grief.
I love looking.
Every time I do this, I feel. Remember Kirk from The Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
And he goes something. Well, Khan, the bridge is smashed. We have to look it up. And Spock says, it's talking about the prefix code. Kirk's looking at the panel. He goes, "Damn!" And he has to put out his bifocals.
The ones that Bones gave him for his birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, they're ancient, like they're like relics.
Let's see. What would I have called that?
UNX, probably UNX.
Did I have it as the UNX? Let's see. UNX.
I'll tell you the memories that are coming back to me right now.
Here it is. That was the 4th of July one, I think. Here it is. Here was the UNX logo for Race's current radio company. Boom.
Look at that. See, it's UNX. It's short for unexplained, but we're changing. We're rebranding this year. I'm trying to con Scotty into making me a new one on credit. And
sorry guys.
Go ahead. But it's the unexplainednetwork.com or unxnetwork.com. But look at that door and that light coming through that door. That's all Scotty Roberts. I never said any of that shit. You know what I mean? We just call it unacceptable. We call it the X. Just like 94.5, the X. You would hear.
That's right. I was gonna have you say the X in your radio voice.
Well, I mean, and so we call it the X. It's because X is sort of our logo, like
Take over for a second for me.
You got it. But
Be right back.
There's Scotty is second to none in that creativity. And as a book illustrator, he is just unmatched. If you're an author and you need book illustrations, Scotty Roberts is your guy, and you're not going to get it at an any more reasonable rate. But when he came with that planet logo, I'm telling you, guys, look, you remember when you had that first girl that you were really hot for, that you were really in love with, really just enamored with. You're young, you get a picture from her. She gives you a picture of, school, like a wallet size or something. And you just look at her all the time, and can't wait to be with her again. That's the way I was with that logo. I just was so proud of it. And
I'm glad you did.
You've never let me down, bro. Never.
Well, thanks, brother.
But that's just one of your talents, though. That's just one of your amazing your artwork, your drawings, your illustrations. Like I was telling everybody, you're second to none in that. You're just phenomenal.
Well, thanks.
Colors, the whole bit.
So Race did a couple of my for Intrepid Radio, folks. If you remember, he did some of my intros and outros and the introduction to my show. I said, I need your voice. I wish I had his voice. So that timbre.
God gave me a voice, a good voice, and a face for radio. I think that's why I avoided the video part.
What's your website?
It's unexplained. TheUnexplainedNetwork.com.
TheUnexplained Network.com. There you go, Hawk.
Yeah, or UNX, UNX Network.
UNX.
Both come to the same
place. Oh, is there an E in explained in the URL?
You got it right.
All right. Good.
Yeah. Unexplained. Yeah.
Good.
The Unexplained Network. We're rebranding this year. Before we were, I think our byline was explaining the unexplained, but with technology, today, AI, we don't know what's real, what photograph is real, what video is real. And with the high level of tech in the military, Ben Rich said 25 years ago that we had stuff 50 years ahead of anything anyone knew back then. And that we had the technology to take ET home back then. The head of Skunk Works, the head of Lockheed Martin said that. And
go ahead.
I was just going to say,
Oops.
I really want to brand the station around the word real. No slogan, just real investigations, real witnesses, real accounts, real evidence, findings, and captures. I just really want to brand us around real, so that when people come and they listen to, because we not only do we do live in-house programming, we also do syndication programming, like Shannon DeGrow and Into the Fray.
Yes.
And Micah Hanks' program. He's syndicated.
Yeah, Micah, is he on your network?
Yeah, Micah's been with me. He left KGR and came with me and has been with me the entire time. But syndicate, Whitley Strieber and Dreamland from Unknown Country. We syndicate some very UFO Chronicles by Nick Hunter over in, I think he's in Taiwan now, but he's from the UK. But like these shows, Ryan Sprague, these shows are really good, really strong talent, really good content. And we present those as well. We were anchored by Clyde Lewis. And my prayers and thoughts are with Clyde. He's going through health problems. His kidneys are failing him, and he's had to step back from radio. And And that guy is a warrior too. I mean, he's had health problems for years and years, related to being raised around the Trinity test site and nuclear fallout and that kind of thing.
Yes.
But he is stepping back from broadcasting, at least for the time being. We have worked a deal with John B. Wells, and he's going to be running from 10 to 1. And then we've got a string of new shows that are going to follow in the overnight, in the prime hours, 1 to 5 a.m. So I've got my work cut out for me over there.
1 to 5 a.m. Didn't Art Bell always did till 5 a.m.?
Well, there's a reason why Coast to Coast is still doing 1 to 4, I think. Those are peak hours for paranormal stuff. And then, Art Bell took a ham radio and went to $500,000 contracts at Clear Channel, Coast to Coast. And so
out of his back bedroom.
Yeah.
Just
out
about
in the high desert, from a ham radio. And those truckers couldn't wait to get in range of his signal. And so a lot of them would slow down and stop and park on the side of the road and listen to him while they, took a nap. But they made him. Those people that drove down that highway out there, they made Art Bell because, he left there and went to a local station, started doing a show from there, from Dreamland, and then went to Coast, started picking up syndicators, you know what I mean? And stations from one side of the United States to the other started picking them up, and you could hear them anywhere. And
do you know, there was an old John Denver song that comes to my mind, a really never heard it on the radio. It was called Late Night Radio. And it was very twangy country western kind of, one of the verses, it says, late night radio, take it everywhere I go. The best friend when I'm lonely is my late night radio. And then he says, the Lord is still my shepherd, but them preachers gotta go. This time of night, my interest lies in UFOs. And then it goes on other stuff. But
great.
Excuse me. I do have a cough button.
You, Sarah. She's like, Scotty, put his station information on the description. That's great. You got some.
I should
to follow you, man. That's awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
And Hawk was asking, are his shows on a clock? I don't know what you mean by that.
They do have show times. But listen,
just schedule.
Everything right now is in flux because I am literally reconstructing, moving shows around, and so bear with us. I'm in the process of adding shows and removing shows. Some shows have to go. They're just not pulling enough listeners for us to be able to maintain. So some shows have to be let go. So we're right in the middle of repositioning the schedule and everything and taking a bunch of the clutter off of our website because we have a magazine. Like, here's our magazine. I don't know how clear this is.
Oh, nice.
But here's the Unix magazine. And like Margie does such a great job on this. It's just chunk full of articles and
nice,
all kinds of stuff. But anyway, we have our own magazine. We have our own publishing company. We publish books and all of that. And
Intrepid Radio used to be, or Intrepid Magazine used to put your header across the top of all our issues and the little globe logo. We were saying we were the official magazine of KGRA.
And was proud to have that.
Yeah.
Bro.
That was across the header behind the main header, Intrepid Radio, Intrepid Mag.
There was one magazine that was comparable to that, and that was the Open Minds magazine when they came out.
Yep.
They were square bindered, thick, high glossy, sturdy stock. You know what I mean? They were really well done. But the Intrepid magazine was the magazine, the 40 magazine for all of us out here that did all of this, and it was so.
Oh man, yeah, that was fun.
It was.
I loved.
There was nothing that could touch it. your graphics and the
There you go.
photography and the artwork and coupled with the great writing and all that, man, it was, God, I wish you were still doing that.
I do too. I would. There's a day I would love to actually get back into this. Let's see. I've got
with all the stuff we've got going, and then we have a conference, mostly virtual
Yep.
But we have like 4 little mini cons every year, virtual cons every year. We got a lot of stuff that's on that, and I want to strip all that away and just leave radio station stuff on there.
Yeah.
Podcasts, the ability to call into the shows eventually, but events and show listings and schedules and things like that are just related to the broadcast station are going to be left, and it's going to be a lot more clearer and a lot less cluttered there. So everybody just bear with us, because we're going to have new branded artwork. I got to corner Scotty into helping me with that, and then
absolutely.
And then
this, I just threw up here the March-April issue of 2014.
Look at that.
So 12 years ago. That's the front cover. And there's where we had Intrepid Mag across the top.
Look at John.
And there's Planet KGRA in the upper right-hand corner, the official magazine of the KGRA digital broadcasting station.
Look,
that was volume 2, issue 2.
There,
who all did we have in this issue? We had Robert Bivald in an article. We had Lorraine Evans, Mac Maloney. This was the Exodus Reality Adventures special expose and photo. That was our people that went with us that year in the picture. Marie D. Jones, Larry Flaxman, Daniel Unterbrink, and Laird Scranton were all in this issue. So,
and John and his umbrella.
And John is an umbrella.
And his umbrella.
There you go. And all of these are still available, by the way. But a bunch of my issues are still available in a hard copy, square-bound magazine. Each issue is about 76 to 80 pages. And you can get them hard copy. I don't have the link off the top of my head, but I can find it. There's a bunch more you can still buy them. So, and you can flip through them online, too, page by page. Excuse me.
That's just look at that cover. That cover represents what you're going to find behind it.
Yeah. This
really
we had such a good time.
We did.
Well, I did making the magazine.
We
did,
brother.
Thought I just took that off of there. And it was fun, and I wanted it to look good. I didn't want it to look cheesy. I wanted this thing to. Micah Hanks wrote articles for me almost every issue. And we got some really good people that were doing articles for us. And a lot of times it was just to promote their books. And they were more than happy to either give us a standard set aside article that they'd written for that purpose, or for promoting, or this is one of the, I got to show this because it was so cool. I got an interview with this guy right here. There you go. Remember that old publicity shot from the 60s of Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner when Star Trek first came out? Well, they did this new fan-based series called Star Trek Continues, which was fabulous. They built all the just exacting replicas of all the sets. And Vic Mignogna, who plays Kirk here, it was his baby, and everything down to the lighting from the 60s, the music, the sets, everything was so perfect. And then they got the plug pulled on him because Paramount said, and they weren't making any money on it. They were donating. It was kind of their hobby.
The guy who played Scotty did a show on KGRA.
He did one on KGRA?
Yeah, his name was Carl Sheldon, and he played Scotty with those guys. He played Scotty's part.
You're talking Vic Mignogna?
Scotty, that played Scotty.
Oh, on that show?
on that show
on
right
Star Trek
there,
Continues. Yeah,
yeah,
he was James Doohan's son.
Carl Sheldon played him.
Oh, Oh, the older
Yes.
with the white shirt and the vest and the mustache.
Yeah,
I remember Carl Sheldon.
yeah,
And
played
we
Scotty
talked a little bit.
But I was going through some boxes that were in the barn from when we moved to Utah for a couple of years, for 3 years, almost 3. And I have the Star Trek insignia, and he made me an EMF detector that looked like, one of them Star Trek gadgets that they had, the scientists had, and inside the badge, the little triangular badge, it had a real dilithium crystal that he synthesized himself in his lab, built inside the center of it. So it was awesome. And he was such a great, but those guys did a great job. Their sets were second to none. I mean, like, I hated that I knew that was going to happen, though. I knew that Paramount was going to, jerk their chain.
Sorry, I left you talking there. Kid, my daughter had 3 of her friends over tonight. And can so-and-so come over? Sure. Can so-and-so come over? Sure. Oh, how about this one? Sure. I said, but I'm going to tell you right now. I said, I'm not driving anybody home tonight. Parents have to come get them. Okay. Well, now she's arguing with me. Well, you said that about Bella. You didn't say that about so-and-so. I said, I gave a blanket statement. I'm driving no kids tonight. My car's all put up in the garage and I'm doing radio. So there you go. Now I'm stuck with a kid, an extra kid here, and I'm going to have to take her home. We're almost done here. So
Hawk, I guess you just type in your browser www.unxnetwork.com and that'll take you right there.
Hey, Kelly Bell.
The Unexplained Network. One of the two. He couldn't get it. 95.5.
Yeah.
Tell you what, keeping up with chat is tough.
Was Shatner? Did you say?
Keeping up with chat is tough.
Oh, the chat. I know. Every now and then I have to go and I have to scroll backwards. So,
yeah, Hawk, those shows are on the clock. We have a schedule, but we're actually reconfiguring it. And I'm doing all new artwork for the website, and I'm going to con Scotty into doing me a branded logo like he does. And then we'll have to come on here and display it. I got to go sell my body, though, to afford him.
Yeah. Here, I've got a kidney left.
Or to go fund me.
Right.
That's one thing my boss hates to pay for is graphics.
Oh, yeah.
They're pricey, man. I mean,
they are. And
you can go get an AI to make you one for $50, but it's
never quite.
No.
And I've done that for clients that go, well, what do you charge for a logo? And I tell them, well, I charge usually about $650 to $700. Oh, that's just way out of my price range. And of course, I price it high so I can negotiate. And I go, well, what can you afford? I ask them, and they're like, well, I got $50. And I'm like, $50. Okay.
That'll get the border.
Just go have AI do
for the border.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get a lot of that. I got a lot of that with independent authors that wanted book covers. I'm talking more in the children's book category. They'd want illustrations. And I would charge for a full page illustration anywhere from $450 to $650, depending on the complexity of the illustration. And I did it at those prices because you usually get 10 or 12 of them for a kid's book. Then it's a good deal. And sometimes I ended up dropping those things to $100 a piece. You're kidding me. My heart. I got 5 children to feed, kind of thing. But and I do it, but it's like, and nowadays, they'll look at my stuff and they go, well, I got a guy who will do these for $10 a piece in Pakistan. I said, well, you better go get that done in Pakistan. Then I said, good luck. And all they do is you got kids who don't know a damn thing about illustration or art or composition, and they know how to prompt AI. And so they give them AI illustrations. And there's this, like one lady came back and all these beautiful, she'd written a book about the jungle, this jungle lion from a cub on up. And he had taken from Pakistan, an artist, he'd taken direct pictures off of Disney of Simba as a cub, and pasted it on top of AI backgrounds. And she posted all those pictures up on the group that we were all a part of. And she said, I'm so distressed. She says, I paid for these and this is what I got. My whole book is like this and I can't use these. And I'm like, well, what did you pay for them? He charged me $15 a piece for these, for 10 illustrations. I said, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
So.
But you're the best, bro. I mean.
So I hate to tell you this, man, but you get what you pay for.
Hawk is probably going to take us about 2 more weeks to be retooled on the website with the schedule and everything.
That's cool.
Laid down.
Now, Hawk asked something about, do you charge your hosts at all? Do some of them have to pay you to be on?
No.
Nope, no charge from the host. Huh?
No, we don't do. Now, when I began, we did pull host fees.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, when I started the network, it was hosting fees that made it possible for us to exist. I mean, that they covered operating costs at that point, but it became, when it became more important for us to maintain the legal ability to hold on to what we produced out of our studios in perpetuity. Then I released them from those fees.
There you go.
And we did hosting agreements where you could come and go for any reason. And it's still this way today here at the Unexplained Network. You can come and go anytime for any reason. There's no contract for timeline or, how long you have to be here until X amount of time, right? None of that. You can come and go, but we do request the right to be able to broadcast if you decide to leave, we want to be able to play your show in that time slot until we can find another show to fill that time slot. And then maybe just when we do refeeds, because when our programming ends in the various times in the middle of the night, whatever day, whatever given day it is, like on a Monday night, we may end our fresh programming, our live programming and everything at 4 in the morning. On Tuesday, it might be 3 in the morning. On Wednesday, it might be 2 in the morning. But when that ends, we go into refeed mode where we program the software to run show files. And, we could put your show in there. But all it does is promote you. Everything stays in the show. Everything that you mention on the air when you do live mentions and things like that, all of that stays there. So
that's
anything
cool.
You're promoting for your podcast, if you have sponsors for your podcast, all of that stays in there. It's
that's
all
cool.
and in perpetuity. So you own the rights. Cool. You own the rights to your brand and to your show and to your program and to your program archives. But we just asked for the right to be able to replay what we broadcast and what we produced and engineered out of our studios after you're gone. Not that we're going to go out and sell it or make money off of it or anything like that, or give anyone else permission to use it however they want. That doesn't happen. They have to come to you for that. We just reserve the right to be able to continue to promote your content, continue to prop you up and promote you, and still, give our listeners
right
reminders of your good product. Because if you're there that long and you get a better deal or want to go somewhere else because of whatever reason, we're ready to prop you on our shoulders and throw a party and send you off, you know what I mean, on a good foot. We're not here to bring you down. We're here to raise you up. I've had shows leave here and go on to great, bigger and better things. Gemini Productions, on and on, coast to coast.
Yeah.
And, we're happy to we hate to see you go, but we're happy that you're moving up,
Right. Well, very cool. Well, Race, what I'm going to do is start bringing this down in tone because it's almost 10:30, which is when I like to quit.
It's time to dock the ship. So
that's right. And this is technically.
Go ahead. I was just going to thank you, brother, for allowing me to come on. Because so many times I want to, because I'm producing or I'm engineering, and I'm scrolling through and I pop up, see you're on. I get to listen to you a little bit, and and I'm talking to you over here on this side right here. I'm like, yes, Scotty, yeah. But I had the time tonight. I had a meeting earlier, and our other producers holding things down. So I had the time to come on. And when you said, come on,
I am sure glad you did. It's so good to see you. I love you, brother. It's always good to see you, and good to catch up.
Take good care of yourself and watch that sugar.
Yeah. I just I overdid it trying to take up the low.
Keep it level. No spikes.
I have been. I look back at my
gigantic spikes up and down, bub.
I look at my big readout.
That other foot took.
My readout for my doc looked at my readout, and it was all from my automatic thing. And he said, "You're really good." I'm pretty much that almost a flat line with a couple of spikes in there.
That's what you want.
Baby,
bro. That keeps your kidney strong. You know what I mean? It's the main protection for that. But I love you. Keep taking good care of yourself. I'm glad you're in a new homestead, and that.
Thank you.
Going well, and I love you. And I'll be in touch about suckering you out of another logo.
You got it, brother.
All right,
I'm here all the time.
And thanks for being so kind to me, everybody out there in chat. I appreciate it. And y'all see me pop in chat here. I'm almost toxic. That's me. Remember,
I'm almost toxic. That's
all right, brother.
Race, good to see you, brother. Have a good night.
You too. Be well, my friend.
Talk soon. All right, guys. That was Race Hobbs. And good to catch up with him. Good to have him talk a little bit about what they're doing. Let's see. Hawk says maybe he'll answer me in here. Did you ask a question? Did I miss your question? Oh, you're asking technical questions about his radio station. Are you using RMTP Winamp Shoutcast for your backbone? I don't know. See you, Dallas. Great to have you on. Or here. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Guess what? It's time to go. I got to apparently go drive a kid home now at 10:30 at night. The misunderstanding of... there you go. What's he say? We use Shoutcast. Hawk, he says we use Shoutcast. There you go. All right. And so I'm going to go drive a kid home, go back out in the cold, and to pull the car back out of the garage because my little girl did not understand what I meant when I said not giving rides to anybody tonight. Make sure their parents know to pick them up. So there you go. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. We will see you again tomorrow night.